Welcome to Grappling Legacy Lounge. I am Gabe Richmond.
Episode 1.
Episode 1.
Episode 1. It's our very first time recording, so hopefully this equipment actually works, and we'll see how it goes.
Mm-hmm.
So, Gabe Richmond,
Yep.
Sean Richmond. So we were just drilling in our little basement, and started talking and figured, why not start a video cast and talk about where we've been, where we're going, what we're doing,
And what we've done.
what we've done. Maybe we'll add some guests. Maybe we won't.
Yeah.
Who knows? We'll see. But yeah. Anyway, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty good.
Yeah. So,
Had-
want to talk about where do we start? We were talking about just competitions recently.
Yeah.
And
There's kinda
like
so many.
the last 2-3 weeks, we've done quite a few between wrestling and
Yes.
jiu-jitsu.
Wrestling season was very long. It
Wrestling
lasted
season.
from like October to like mid-March, I would say, right?
Yeah, but you're still doing it.
Yeah.
There's
yeah.
off-season work.
Yeah,
It's
I've-
never over.
Yeah, we have off-season for freestyle and Greco. And Greco State is this weekend. But
Greco State's not. Oh yeah, Greco State
Greco
is this
State
weekend.
is this weekend.
But-
I am not doing Greco State.
But folk style's still around too. There's some folk style tournaments.
Yes.
And you've done two.
Yeah.
Right, two. That's right. We should talk about that one too. I totally forgot about that.
Yeah.
So let's start with
The first.
yeah,
folk
actually
style tournament?
let's start right there. Let's start with the Nuway Wrestling Tournament and the Chewy
Chewy.
Jiu-Jitsu Tournament.
Yeah.
It was kind of crazy. That was a very crazy day. 'Cause,
Yes.
let's see. You were doing 2 brackets in jiu-jitsu. You did gi and no gi.
Mm-hmm.
Then you were also doing the Nuway Wrestling folk style individual tournament. And then I was refereeing and coaching. We had maybe 5 other kids there, 3 other kids.
And you were like the only coach there. Well, at least for the kids.
Well, there's a couple of our competitors coaches there. Our head coach wasn't there. He wasn't able to make it. He actually came later.
Yeah.
He was covering my class, which is on Saturdays, which thank you. So there's that. And then I was also reffing. And then I jumped in as well on the gi for a couple fun matches. That was a lot of fun, actually.
Yeah.
But let's talk about you. You kicked it off with no gi.
Yes.
And you won 2 in a row.
Yes. Yes.
So you took first in your no-gi bracket.
Yes.
And that was like right away. I think that was like the very first match.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah. Pretty much.
like there's the first match on that mat, and then which was a tough match.
Yeah.
Real MMA. Those
Yeah.
guys are awesome.
They're very good. Very respectful.
Yeah. So that was that first match. Then you went against a green belt.
Yes.
We should also say that you're an orange belt.
Yes.
But you went against a green belt, which is a belt up.
Yeah. Like the next color.
Yeah, which is cool. And then you won that match, which then got you qualified for a title belt because
Yeah.
at
So
the Chewy. Yeah, go ahead.
their titles. So they have a certain way of getting a championship belt, and the way to get it is that you have to get first in one of your divisions and compete in another division. So like you have to do 2 brackets basically and win one. So let's say I lost my first bracket, but I still have one more bracket. I have one more chance to get the Chewy championship belt, whatever you call it.
Yeah.
So you have to, basically get
you
first
just have
place.
to take first place in one of the 2 divisions that you signed up for.
Yes.
And I think it has to be a gi and a no gi. I don't think you can technically do 2 no gis, although last year you did.
Yes.
But I think because there was a guy that needed a match. I think you went up to an adult division or
Yeah,
whatever.
I went to the adult division.
Yeah. I think normally they expect you to do a gi and a no gi.
Yeah. Well,
But-
yeah, that's the thought process
Yeah.
probably.
Yeah. So, but either way, you may be getting a little bit of spikes on these because I'm not sure. Maybe we can adjust the microphone volume. I plan on not doing any editing to these, or at least the most minimum as possible.
Yeah.
I literally just want to
Test
get the
out.
file, save it, upload it into YouTube, or we're going to be on YouTube and Twitch. Twitch, I'm not sure yet how to do. We'll figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll get some things. We'll get some like of us rolling and footage of that. Whatever. Anyway. So, next thing you did was like your gi bracket, and I feel like there wasn't a lot of time between. We also had to keep checking because the wrestling tournament was going on the other side of the. It's not really arena, but like
it was on like the other side of like the
gym.
giant. It was like
it was like a giant field house.
Yeah,
I guess
yeah.
is what it would be.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a field house. So it was on the other side of the field house, and we had to keep. And it was ran by 2 different groups. So on my phone, I was able to check Matt's and assignments, and I didn't see his name come up. And it was supposed to send me a text, but if you've ever been involved in like USA Wrestling, done track wrestling.
or any sort of
or
app
any type
like
of
that.
wrestling tournament, the text messaging on those don't always come through. So I think it actually only texted me the very first time that you were assigned to Matt, and then after that I didn't get anything. So I had to keep checking to see when he was going to go. The biggest concern was like if he was in gi, or because he did his no gi in his singlet, which was pretty funny.
Yeah.
And then he just put his gi on over his singlet for the gi. But the biggest thing is like you wear knee pads and you have to get your socks and your shoes and then run to the other side. So we were concerned about how logistically how this was going to work. Plus, I was reffing and coaching on the jiu-jitsu side, so we were trying to figure. I was pretty overwhelmed.
Yeah. I could kind of tell.
So luckily it worked out though. You were able to get your no gi in. You then switched to your gi, which came up quick.
Yeah.
And one cool thing about Chewy, the Chewy tournament is, unlike some of these other tournaments that I've gone to, they don't start the gi brackets until everybody's done with no gi, which I think is awesome because
that's like it's like session 2.
It's like session 2, right? In wrestling, if you've done wrestling tournaments, they do it by age groups. So the younger ages, so like Brandon is 8, and he gets usually the morning session 1.
Yes.
And we'll kick off right at 9 o'clock, and then around noonish, that session kind of finishes up, and then as those kids are done, they clear the mats.
For like the middle schoolers.
Yeah, they clear the mats, let the middle schoolers go. They let them warm up for like 20, 30 minutes, and then they start what's called session 2, and that's usually the middle schoolers. And during off season, they kind of mix the middle schoolers with the high schoolers too. So session 2 is usually both, and then you're done by like 3 or 4 o'clock. It's awesome. Usually wrestling tournaments are ran pretty well timely.
Yes.
And it's also because they don't assign your bracket to one mat.
Yeah.
You can run from literally mat 1 to mat 4 to mat 5.
It's if a mat is open.
Yeah, it's whatever mat's available,
It's like
which I love because not only you get time to rest in between your matches, but then it doesn't matter to me what mat you're on. You get the notification that says, "Hey, I'm on this mat," and if you pay attention to the TV, go ahead and yawn.
Yeah.
If you ever watched any of our older videos on Gabe's YouTube channel, we have like car conversations, and he's yawning in just about every single one of them. So it's
like tradition.
Yeah, it's nice. Anyway, so then let's get to the gi. So in the gi, you go against the real MMA team again, and this time I believe he beat you.
Yes.
I didn't get to coach that one.
Yeah.
I was preoccupied with another student, but I think it was close.
Yeah. So Chewy's a submission only. So to win, you have to get a submission, and if nobody gets a submission, it's like ref's decision. Like there's no points basically. Like really, the person who wins is usually like the person who's controlling the match or having the most submission attempts. So really, kind of like I want to say middle or towards the end of the match, he got a bunch of armbar attempts in, because I think I want to say it was from like a triangle. Like he was like trying to like triangle me, and I was more focused on the triangle, and like he just grabbed my arm and get like try to get an armbar attempt. And there was some
pretty close.
Yeah, and there was some where it was pretty good. Like I actually had to defend it. So
well, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, and then then after that, you went against the same green belt. I think that's how we found out he was a green belt. It's because he got in the gi and had his green belt on.
Yeah.
So, and then you beat him.
Yeah. I had like
You had a couple of submission
so many
attempts,
attempts on him.
You had a bow and arrow on him.
Yeah.
How did he get out of that?
Okay, so basically, he was kind of like squirming around a lot. So I had like I had the bone arrow a lot. I had like the bone arrow in, and then I saw his arm. It was just kind of like flailing out there. So in my head, I was like, well, I'll just armbar him because not only am I bone arrowing him, I'm gonna shotgun armbar him, and it's gonna be like.
Oh, was it getting tucked underneath?
No,
your arm?
he was kind of just flailing it out. So I was gonna kind of like just like let go and like try to get like the armbar and then try to get like the bone arrow again. But like I kind of like lost the bone arrow.
Yeah, because you have to grab the arm.
Yeah.
So you have to let go of one of the two grips.
Yeah.
And I'm guessing it was the collar grip you had to let go of.
Yeah. So
that's pretty much the whole thing.
Yeah, but when I had the arm, he was kind of just squirming the whole time, so I wasn't able to like really like finish it or anything. But that was basically kind of how he got out because I just saw like if I thought about it a little more, I probably should have stuck with the bone arrow. The only problem with the bone arrow is I don't think I had it in like as tight as I thought I did.
Yeah. Like probably around the collar is my guess.
Yeah, I think he probably would have just stuck in there and just like held it out for like who knows how long.
Sure.
The rest of the match was.
Okay.
And then I just saw the armbar, so I thought I was just gonna quick, easy armbar that was just right there. And then, but he just was squirming a lot.
So you won that by ref decision?
Yeah, by like so many. There's so many.
So that bracket, because there was only a 3-man bracket.
Yeah, I got
second place.
Yeah.
Okay.
So first and second.
Then came the wrestling.
Yes, and it wasn't that quick of a turnaround. It was like probably like I want to say like 30 minutes probably.
That's still a fast turnaround.
Yeah.
I mean, you just did 4 jiu-jitsu matches.
Yeah.
And now you're jumping into another bracket of wrestling. And I would say to me, wrestling is probably, I'm not going to say it's harder, because I don't think it's harder. It's harder in its own little mind, but like it's more intense. I'll say it's more intense. It's more cardio. It's definitely a faster pace than jiu-jitsu because you're constantly go, 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 go. Granted, it's 3 2-minute periods or 3 minute-and-a-half periods, whatever that rule set is, but to go, go, go in that mindset, like you only have literally, let's say it's a minute-and-a-half period. You have a minute-and-a-half when you're starting on your feet to get someone on their back and pin them.
Yeah.
Or you're going into a second period, which who knows how you're starting, top, bottom, neutral. So you're just starting in referee position on bottom, referee position on top, or neutral, and then you got to do it all like over again. So for another minute-and-a-half.
Yeah. Like the thing was, I was like going in there, like 4 matches of jiu-jitsu, so like, and they were pretty intense matches. Like they weren't like just sitting there as play guard. And,
they were tough.
Yeah, we were like going at it. So basically I had
especially on a submission on. It's not like IBJJF, which we'll get to.
Yeah.
We did do an IBJJF soon, so hopefully we'll get to that, or maybe we save it for another episode. I don't know.
Yeah.
But
depending how long this is.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, this is good. It's not like an IBJJF when you're talking about sub only. You're constantly fighting to get a submission because that's how you win. If it goes to judges, then you at least want to have 1 or 2 submission attempts because that looks good on the judging criteria.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
Yeah.
So we're on to wrestling now.
Yeah. So wrestling, I come in I was kind of tired coming into the match. Now all my opponents are probably not tired because they didn't have 4 jiu-jitsu matches, and now
it's a good point. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
I didn't think about that until just now. They're like fresh off.
Yeah.
They did their warm up and then they're ready to go. They're not. They weren't even sweating. You were probably already sweating.
Yeah.
And you hadn't eaten.
Yeah.
Because you had breakfast, but that was way early.
Yeah.
But you didn't have like anything else. You drank some water, but it's not like you go and get like a bagel with like peanut butter or anything like that.
Yeah.
You were just go.
Yeah.
We had bananas, but you didn't have any.
No, I didn't have any. Yeah. So basically, so they had like seating in this tournament, and when I found out about it was after I finished the tournament. Just to keep this into perspective, I was wrestling up as well. So I was going up to like one.
I think it was 120.
Yeah, 125.
You were weighed in like the middle of. You weren't the lightest person in your bracket, but you definitely were not the heaviest.
Yeah.
I think it was a pretty wide range too. I want to say it was like
I think it was 125, right?
the top was 125, but the bottom I think was like 113,
Mm-hmm.
and I think you weighed in around 115, 116. I want to say.
I think I weighed in 115.
Yeah.
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 That sounds right.
Yeah. So back to their seating. I had no clue that there was seating. Afterwards, I figured out that they were seating. Turns out, but had no clue of this at the first. The person in my bracket was seated, like who I had to go against, number one
the
match.
first kid.
Yeah, first match. He was seated number 1, and I was seated last. So I was like, what's meant to, if it followed the seating.
I'm not sure how they do the seating. I think my guess is that they do the seating off of, because it's
Prior
not USA
tournaments.
Wrestling. It's not associated to USA Wrestling.
Yeah.
It's associated to Nuway. So I believe the way they do it is like off of points and other Nuway tournaments that may have been done.
Yeah.
So my assumption is that the other kids in your bracket, which it's also a round robin. It's not a single elimination.
Yeah.
And there's 4 kids total in this
Including
round
me.
robin. And so including you, there's 4 kids. So that meant each kid was doing 3 matches. And so, yeah, I think those other kids probably did more Nuway wrestling tournaments than you, obviously, because it was your first one.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of funny. They did. I wouldn't say they seeded them because, again, it's round robin. I would say that they ranked you, and they ranked you last.
Yeah.
And my guess is that it's because it's a Nuway tournament, and you've never done a Nuway tournament until now.
Yeah.
So that's why it was
Yeah.
selected that way. But you did go against a kid. The first kid you went against was the number 1 ranked kid. And what'd you think of that match?
So that match, coming in, in my head, because, like, it's all really mental. So, like, I came in, I didn't feel, like, tired at all. But then, like, kind of as soon as, like, the match, like, because he, like, got a shot in on me kind of, like, pretty quickly, I feel like. And right as he got me there, I was, all my energy is drained. And I was like, oh, crap.
I don't think he took you down, though.
No,
I think I thought you defended it.
I feel.
Oh, no, he did take you down.
He got me.
He did. That's right.
Yeah, but, like, so for the first period, like, I was just, like, super gassed, like, just because the prior, like, 4 matches. And then, like, towards, like, the end, I started trying to get out, but, like, I could not. Like, there was I think it was the last second of the match, I could have, like, tried to, like, kick out and, like, crawl out, basically, but I just did not have enough stamina, and he had a good, like, grip on my leg. So
When you say crawl out, you mean, like, out of the circle?
no, kick out, because he had, like, one
Oh,
leg.
he had one leg. You were
Yes.
trying to kick away to get
Yeah.
next escape point.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember now.
Yeah, and then beginning of the second period, I think it was my choice, yeah, and I chose neutral because I wanted to get a takedown and stuff. So, I'm setting up my takedown. I get the takedown. I don't know what takedown it was. It was either a double or a fireman's carry, but I got the takedown.
I think it was
And then-
fireman's carry.
Yeah. And then I try to turn him like usually, like, when I take them down, I try to turn him because I don't want to be stalling on bottom and not doing anything, or stalling on top.
Yeah, you don't want to ride their hips either. You want
Yeah.
to go side to side.
Yeah. So I was trying to turn him. He just wasn't really budging or anything. I think there was a time, or there was once where I tried to, like, mud roll him, and he kind of just, like, rolled through, like, completely. I was like, oh, all right. But yeah, that was basically the second period. And then third period comes, and he chooses neutral, I think, right? Because
He did choose neutral.
Yeah, he chose
Yeah.
neutral or something like that.
Mhm.
We started neutral, so it was either I chose neutral or he chose neutral.
I think it was his choice.
Yeah.
You
So then
you wouldn't choose neutral usually.
yeah.
So
So then, I have to set up. I think there was a close call where I almost got taken down, but I think I
You guys went out of bounds.
Yeah.
Because he went in on a double. That's the one I thought was the first one.
Yeah.
That's why I thought, like, I don't remember you getting taken down, but it was the second
Yeah.
period. You guys went quickly out of bounds. But then after that, I think that was it.
Yeah.
Like, that was it for him. Like,
yeah, he did. I
don't know if he got, like, discouraged or...
Yeah, once I took him down.
Or if he got tired.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was good. It was kind of... I remember the points being close.
Yes. The point... So, I remember at the end... Because I got a takedown third period.
Yeah.
So, I believe the points were 6-3, I think.
Yes.
Is from my memory.
Yes, that's right.
But yeah. So, basically, I won that match 6-3. That was probably my hardest... that was probably my hardest match.
It was the closest match,
closest
that's for
match.
sure. Because the second match,
I pinned the kid.
you pinned the kid in the second period, I believe. No,
I think it was in the first.
So the first period.
Second match is kind of funny because I started off, I was like had way more energy this one because like the like wrestling instincts basically like kicked in, and I like
And you're kind of just coming off the season, so you're still in pretty good shape.
Yeah.
And conditioning wise.
Yeah. Like.
So like your cardio is still high.
Yeah.
It's still pretty good.
Yeah.
So obviously because you did 3 brackets, you know, I mean that's in itself is a
crazy.
Yeah. So, but anyway, go ahead. But we're still talking about the second one. You pinned him.
Yeah. So it was kind of funny because, I started off. He tried to hit a fireman's carry. Holy crap. He tried to hit a fireman's carry, and I think it was kind of close because he almost hit it. And I stopped it, and then in my head I'm like, I'm gonna try to hit a fireman's carry on him. So I hit one on him, and then I pinned him from it because I think he landed on his back from it. And I was like, all right, well, or no, I got him down. Yeah, he landed on his back. I think for a second period. For the first period.
Yeah,
because
he did end up on yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because usually, for those tournaments, I don't try to go for the pins. It's only if he's on his back, like in this scenario, because he was on his back. So I was like, all right, I'm just gonna finish it. So I think
pinning him was the right move.
Yeah.
I mean, you were tired from your first one, so I know that you got a second win there, but I think it's smart in that scenario to pin them, get off the mat, get a little bit longer rest time for your next one.
Yeah.
So I thought it was a good idea.
Yeah.
And I know where you're coming from. Like, it's off season, so who cares? Win, lose, draw, whatever. You just want to. Any mat time is good time, right?
Yeah.
So I get where you're coming from on there, and if you don't need to pin them and you just want to work on a certain technique or multiple techniques, which we'll get into because we were talking about other wrestling tournaments and stuff of that nature. But so you pinned the kid, you got a little bit of a longer break.
Yeah.
Then you went into your last match, which I think the last match was probably against the lightest kid in the bracket.
Yeah, he probably was the lightest kid. He was tinier than the rest of them.
Yeah, he seemed really small. Do one thing real quick, because I'm watching the meter on your mic here.
Mm-hmm.
The top knob here, just turn the volume down a little bit and see if, because I keep seeing you going into the red, and I have a feeling we're going to have high peaks with you.
Okay.
So right there. You don't have to yell into the mic.
No, I'm just
talking. Talk. See how mine is barely touching the yellow?
Yeah.
Now you're good. So,
okay.
Sorry. So,
yeah.
Last match. Let's talk about it. Lightest kid in the bracket, most likely.
Yeah.
Definitely the smallest kid in the bracket. Stocky.
Yeah. Yes.
But that your technique in that one was great.
Yeah.
Because you won with a tech fall.
Yes.
So that one you got to work different things, different takedowns. So
yeah.
I think that's really the first. Well, this tournament, I should say, wasn't necessarily this match, but this tournament was probably the first time I've seen you do a blast double, and you seem to be hitting them here and there and left and right. So
yeah. So I think I opened up actually. So in jiu-jitsu, my first map against the green belt and Nogi, I blast doubled him. But for the last match, I'm in my head, I wanted to hit a high crotch and lift him up and then bring him down to the mat. So I tried to hit the high, I did it pretty well. I hit the high crotch and I lifted, but he just kind of just fell before I could lift him up. I want to say like he kind of didn't have a good enough balance, but again, like I would probably fall too because I don't want to be picked up like that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
he like went down. So then I started working my turns on him, and that was kind of like I think I got like one turn. No,
You got several.
Because it ended in the second period.
And not all. I don't think they were all the same turns, but like it ended. Yeah, you finished it in the second period.
Yeah.
So, which is good.
Yeah.
You know, the funny thing, like in my mind right now, I'm sitting there, I'm playing it back in my head, and imagining myself reffing on a mat, then running back over to the other side of the field house because I saw on my phone that you're coming up, and because I was keeping track of like his name. It wasn't texting me like it was supposed to. It was just the website would refresh and I could see, okay, Richmond mat 5, he's in the hole. He's the third match. So I'm like, okay, I gotta go. So I had there's plenty of refs there. We're gonna talk more about Chewy in a second because I really enjoyed that whole experience. But I would run back over and Shaq and be like, okay, you have one match and then you're up. So I'm going to sit here and we're going to go.
Yeah.
And that's when you would go. And then when you're done, I'd, say, hey, give you a high five, say, hey, good job. Yeah. Shake your opponent's hand because I feel like that is very important in every match, win, lose, draw, whatever. Always go shake the other coach's hand. Be there as a coach to accept that. And then I literally run back. I'm back. Ref like 2 or 3 matches. Check my phone, then do it all over again. Yeah. So, it was a little crazy there for me. Luckily, by the time you got to wrestling, again, like I said, schedule-wise, it worked.
Kind of perfect.
Right? Yeah, it kind of worked really well because by the time he had started wrestling, all of our kids were done with jiu-jitsu. So I could focus primarily on refereeing and his wrestling. And then after that, I jumped in on the gi side, which was very cool. I got to go against Joey Deal,
like
the head guy of Real MMA, which is why there's an R, because he's the real deal. But he's a totally cool guy. I'm extremely happy I jumped in, even though he beat the snot out of me within minutes. But I expected nothing less, to be quite honest. So it was a great time. I got to take my gi off, went right back over to reffing. Obviously shook hands, all that good stuff. Went back to reffing, and we were done. I think your mom took you home, and your brother and your sister.
Yeah, I was tired after that tournament.
You're exhausted. So I think I was out of there by 5:30, and we had cleaned up the mats and all that stuff
and packed it up
and packed everything up. I think it was ran very efficiently, especially since it was sub only, and you just never know what you're going to get. You never know who your opponents are going to be because they build the brackets that day. They basically see what everybody weighs in at, and they do what's called a Mason bracket, and they take a big group of different weights, put them in a bracket, which is round robin. Everyone round robin. Adults round robin, kids round robin, gi, no gi, for both. And so it's kind of like 4 sessions. You have your first session of no gi kids, then second session of gi kids, and then they take a break. They do a rule set for the adults, and then they do adults no gi. And they go through all of them. And then they go right into adults gi and do all of them. And then they do like awards. Oh, they do the absolute. The absolute is cool because they pay out on the absolute, which is another cool thing. They pay the athletes. I'm all for that. Especially ones who do the absolute because they're working hard. And they don't just do one absolute. Like they don't just say, okay, you're an adult, you're doing the adult absolute. No, they do
each by belt and
they do it by kind of by belt, but experience level.
It's like beginner.
They do beginner, intermediate, expert.
Yeah.
So there's 3 different absolutes, and they pay for each one of them. For the winner of each one of them, they get I think it's like $300 or something like that. It wasn't like, it's not high into the thousands, but like imagine they're doing this every weekend.
Yeah.
somewhere, not just Chicago. They're all over the place.
Yeah, it's obvious.
So
$3,000
yeah,
spent at
yeah.
every
So
or no,
it's-
$300.
Yeah.
At every
So
tournament.
Anyway, it's really cool. It was really cool to watch. Some really intense, some really good jiu-jitsu.
Yes.
A lot of cool submission attempts. I think sub-onlys are awesome. The rule sets are great because like people go for broke. You know,
Yeah.
You're not like
It's like, well, I got to do
you're-
something now.
You're not in a closed guard stalling.
Yeah.
You know, trying to get a breath. You're actually moving. The rule sets favor wrestlers in a way because of the cardio and the conditioning that they're in. With the exception of obviously there's still guard pulls and people doing things from closed guard.
Yeah.
Which you still have to defend in any
Yeah.
jiu-jitsu tournament. So, but yeah, overall, the Chewy Jiu-Jitsu Open was awesome. I would highly recommend it.
Yeah.
I want to. I'd like to see it come around twice a year. I think that would be really cool because
Yeah.
a lot of these tournaments. I think that's kind of a problem that we have here is that there's almost too many tournaments to go to.
Yeah.
There's
like
there's
you
literally
miss
one every
some.
weekend, which is what I was going to get into next, but we may save it for another episode because we literally went from Chewy. We took a weekend off of tournaments. No, we did not because you had a wrestling tournament the following weekend, didn't you?
No.
No? Okay, so then maybe we did take a weekend off.
Yeah.
And then we jumped into IBJJF Chicago,
Yes.
which we're going to save for. That's a whole nother conversation.
Yeah.
And then the following weekend after that, I did Grappling Industries with my youngest. Oh no, it was just me.
Yeah.
I just did it. I helped coach a lot of our kids. And then the following day was the cool part.
It was the day before was the wrestling tournament.
The day after. Jiu-Jitsu was Saturday, wrestling was Sunday. Wrestling's always on a Sunday.
Oh yeah, it was on Sunday.
The cool thing after that was the wrestling tournament. We had 10 kids from our jiu-jitsu gym
Yes.
go and do folk style wrestling.
Yeah.
And it was really cool, man.
Seeing how some of them were.
I had a blast. I mean, we just started teaching wrestling there once a week for kids, and they showed up and showed out. I think they did really well. So
Yeah, I had a fun time because that's my high school and I knew.
yeah, it was your school.
I knew everybody.
Yeah, yeah.
It was kind of funny because
Yeah, it was cool. It was definitely good. That was another tournament that was really ran well, and we were done by 2.
Yeah.
So which is crazy.
Yeah. I had to help set up.
Yeah, it was crazy. We helped tear it down too, but
Yeah.
it was cool getting the full experience of wrestling coach and watching jiu-jitsu kids do wrestling. Some of them for the first time, some of them it's still their first season, so it's like towards the end of their season of doing it.
Yeah.
And others have been doing it for a couple of years now. But,
Yeah.
But it's first time for us as a team,
gym,
as a gym.
yeah.
It was the first time we had a Peek-a-Pow wrestling,
Yeah.
or we called it Peek-a-Pow grappling, and I think I'll stick to that because I like the word grappling over like
Wrestling.
defining, it's just wrestling or just jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
Grappling is what it is. We grapple.
Yeah.
So, cool. I don't know. Do you want to talk about IBJJF, which was the next one?
No, because that's a lot.
That's a lot. I mean, we can cover that another time.
Yeah. Like we
So-
spent like the whole day, I think there.
We spent it was a long day, and it was not the easiest spot to get to because it was like
It was so far away.
it's about an hour and a half away from us. So
And there was traffic and
and there was an accident on the way. Yeah, let's save that. We'll do it maybe episode 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 somewhere down the road. But we'll go ahead and wrap this one up because we were drilling a little bit before, like I said. So let's. I'm good. You want to wrap it up?
Yeah.
All right. How do we close this out?
I don't know.
How do we close this out?
It's your show.
It's your show.
What do you mean
It's my show?
Yeah.
It's my show. All right. Until next time, we'll see you when we see you, whenever next time might be. Toodles? Peace out. We'll see you guys later.